Good evening and hoping that you're having a blessed Sunday. Thank you so much for joining us on the main news desk with me, Kalan Muchima. And we also hope and trust that you are keeping yourself and your families safe from the deadly coronavirus. We look at the headlines. 75-year-old man of Mansa contemplates a suicide due to economic hardships. Zoped commends President Edgar Lungu's zeal in ending poverty. Chalenge residents annoyed with the poor state of roads. And in international news, Mali opposition rejects a transition deal as power grab continues. And of course, in sports news, Lionel Messi plays for Barcelona in pre-season friendly win. Join me shortly for the news in detail, just after this short commercial.
Nsika is here. We have you all covered with just 150 kwacha. You can advertise every day from 17 hours to 18 hours. For a 30-second ad, get the benefit of selling your products and services on Nsika. For more details, call our marketing department on +260 953 995099 +260 962 444 726 or +260 971 177 467. Email us on info@camnettvafrica.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Are you a filmmaker? Well, you are exactly what we're looking for.
Camnet TV is calling on local filmmakers. For more details,
You can visit our headquarters in Ibex Hill, next to Hilltop Hospital,
contact us on
0962 444 726. Camnet TV.
not just another channel.
Another Camnet World News in detail with me, Kalan Muchima. The Zambia Aquaculture Lands Cooperative says the sector has the potential to wipe out unemployment levels in the country if well harnessed. Cooperative Vice Chairperson Collins Kachaka explains that this is because one fish pond alone has the potential to employ an entire household. Dr. Kachaka, who is also an aquaculture trainer and fish farmer, says Zambia can be a net exporter of fish in the region as there is a readily available market out there, but lack of fish stocks is hampering Zambia from benefiting from the readily available market. We have more in the following report. As of March 2019, Zambia had a deficit of 87,000 metric tons of fish stocks. This was and still the concern of the Zambian government, and President Edgar Lungu even directed the Ministry of Livestock and Fisheries to work towards restocking of fish in natural water bodies and other avenues.
We are aware that we have a deficit of fish in our country. However, this can be addressed by putting in place an aggressive program which will encourage fish farming. This calls for you to plan a strategic focus to accelerate increasing fish and livestock population for us, not only to improve the money in the pocket of the people, but to improve food security and generally see economic growth.
Arising from such cause, farmers in the sector are working hard to ensure that the deficit is ameliorated. Breeding Fish Farm, through its proprietor, Dr. Collins Kachaka, who is also Zambia Aquaculture Lands Cooperative Vice Chairman, is also of the view that the aquaculture sector alone has the potential to wipe out unemployment levels in the country.
In terms of the country's economy, fish farming is significantly important because it improves the GDP of the country. And also, as you can see, one fish pond, it can employ the whole entire family. One pond, it can employ the whole village.
Dr. Kachaka has since seen a steady growth of the sector in recent times, but insists that more has to be done.
Fish farming in Zambia is booming. We have seen a steady growth in the sector. New fish farmers are coming in almost every week, and we are part of the growth strategy ourselves because we go in the provinces of Zambia to enroll or recruit new farmers.
Every sector is not short of challenges.
We look at the fish farmer in a favorable way to reduce on the tariffs for us to produce more fish. Fish feed is very expensive. For now, on average, a bag of 25 kg is going at 300 kwacha. That is far too high because the ordinary farmer, they can't afford to buy the fish feed anymore. So we need a fish feed scheme. We on the ground, we are saying the number of fingerlings is not enough. We are already in the season of fish now. We should have stocked fingerlings way in July. But to date, no hatchery has fingerlings.
Kalan Muchima reporting for Camnet News. Now, poor road network has continued to affect most towns and districts in Zambia. Chalenge district in Luapula province has not been left out, as the district has some of the worst roads. The poor road network stretches further to Kashikishi sub-Boma within Chalenge district. The residents are not happy with the status quo. We have more in the following report. Every district aspires to have decent and motorable roads. In Chalenge district of Luapula province, the roads are in a state of disrepair, and this situation has not sat well with the community.
Pabanki ula kumutono ku kliniki so imusebona wonayika sana ulingiro kuwamya bantu ni malamanga badefu ayo kutwalira ukutibenga kwate ekifulo na kabiri nchendi bawamye misebo yonse muno ifintu nafyonayika turechula na fimbi na menshi babera tamenshi bakatupekanisha ukukusaidi ukukumulundu ku kliniki filifya shupa matanki yalipona tabale wamya fyonse nomba
sebo kubuteko namwalolesha sana umusebo wambira okupwa last year uyu musebo warepwa kwali ukusosapo pali umusebo lero uyu musebo tabawutekeka kero musebo waba very serious because waya kwa Mutono clinic munapitama ambulance now tulesanga okutira umusebo okurepita ambulance ufire waba musebo uli very serious wakusenda serious but they have neglected this road bali bulo umusebo okuulabako so tuleirishanya kona ngukusosako kuti bapose kwa mano kuli umusebo pantu umusebo empita ambulance ekuyaba rwere the only clinic that we have in Cherenge yakobati this is government clinic ni Mutono clinic.
Going round in Cherenge district all the way into Kashikishi, the roads are still in a very bad state, needing government's intervention.
Tika kwesa ngo kuchitefintu idabamona tama elections ya Africa obambo kuchitefintu bizo okusatu wa parapene matumvisha na bwino kutofumana tuchura tulefo umuntu akwamba na ina until ye akafumapo o tukabe na ina fintu fika wami afo tulefwa change kuna kunchedenge change tulefwa ifo kuna maifsi tukwate kwa kuikata not if tuleseba nefya tubaika tobulu na bamukabene uyo basango kona iba abantu bale puma no wanda na info shifude kuna kunchedenge abantu bale just because takulifya kuchita.
Ambulances rushing for emergencies have no option but to use the same poor roads day in day out.
Mfula ya lokele last year unumu wakairekira so ngayisa ilokele pula kabiri yishi musemo waputu nomba clinic na secondary school nishibuya ntasheshi uba MP waleleta simona no elo 35 years baika ni development in shiri mukashikishi na muncherenge.
It is such projects that our elected leaders promise to deliver once voted into office, but when they get what they wanted so dearly, they never even look back to see how their people are doing. Kalan Muchima reporting for Camnet News. Meanwhile, in Mwinilunga district of Northeastern Province, the township roads, which were constructed a year ago, have started developing potholes. A check in the district revealed that the cracks have developed, a clear sign that come rainy season, the roads may not survive. 4 years ago, the Zambian government started working on township roads in Mwinilunga district of Northeastern Province. The district was allocated 21 kilometers of township roads, but 4 years down the line, only less than 5 kilometers has been actualized. Now, the problem is that the township roads, which have only lasted for a year, have already developed potholes, and the area member of parliament Newton Samaka is not happy with what his eyes are seeing, considering that huge sums of money has so far been spent on the project.
This tarmac you are seeing is not even a year old, and it's already started coming out. The tarmac is coming out, and what you can see here are just stones. Okay, it's a poor workmanship. The quality of work is very poor, And we don't know what is really going on. And the contractor here is called Kangea. He has been here for 4 years. The township roads are not finishing. We really don't know. Even what is being done is not worth being called the tarmac.
Mr. Samakai wonders whether these roads had the proper supervision, looking at the end results.
My appeal is that the government must come and assess what is happening. Is what is being done, is it being done to the specifications? I think the monitoring and evaluation team of whatever, whether this is local government or whatever authority is doing this work, must strengthen the monitoring team so that work is done to the specification. But if this is what was specified, then you are cheating people. This is not development. This is not development. Where you build a road, within one year, the road is finished. You are wasting resources. Resources are being wasted here.
He is, however, impressed with the workmanship on the drainage system.
Well, the drainage is well done, as you can see. I'm sure this was a subcontractor. The main contractor is the one who was doing the tarmac. The workmanship is bad, but the drainage, I think, the work is okay. The work is all right, but I'm told he hasn't been paid as well. So it looks like even the main contractor hasn't been paid. The subcontractor hasn't been paid. And this project has been on for 4 years. This is why we argue that there's no development taking place in Munrunga. And people are busy arguing. What are you arguing? Look at what has been done here.
Kalan Muchima reporting for Camnet News. The Ministry of Health has observed some form of relaxation in the observance of COVID-19 health guidelines following President Edgar Lungu's decision to partially open bars on Friday 11th September 2020. Speaking at the daily COVID-19 briefings Sunday morning, Minister of Health Permanent Secretary Kennedy Malama notes with concern the development, saying if allowed to continue, the country may record a surge in COVID-19 cases. On Friday, President Edgar Lungu eased some of the measures imposed in the country in a bid to fighting the deadly coronavirus, which first broke out in April this year. President Edgar Lungu announced on Friday that bars which his government closed 6 months ago can partially reopen from 18 hours to 23 hours, as well as schools. But barely 2 days in the lifting of these restrictions, the Ministry of Health has already seen an abuse by Zambians, especially bar patrons, as stated by Ministry of Health Permanent Secretary Dr. Kennedy Malama.
We may see an escalation in the number of people getting COVID-19, going by what we've already seen in terms of abusing the window which has been provided in terms of patronizing bars, funerals, parties, and weddings, among other social functions, without or with minimum observation of public health measures which have been outlined.
Dr. Malama has continued to implore Zambians to continue adhering to the set guidelines.
It's also important to remind the Zambian people that we need to up the game as we mount a response towards COVID-19 within the new normal. Zambia may risk an upsurge of COVID-19 if some of the risk behaviors we are seeing in our communities continue. It is therefore our clarion call to all Zambia in public: mask up when in public. Time will come when government, through Ministry of Health, is going to advise its people that we stop masking up when you are in public. For now, masking up remains a high-impact intervention in preventing contraction and further transmission of COVID-19. We need to ensure that we maintain physical distance. We need to wash our hands frequently or use hand sanitizer. We should avoid crowded places and stay at home if necessary. We need to seek medical attention early if symptomatic. These may seem boring statements, the 5 golden rules, but they are life-saving.
The Permanent Secretary further gave an update on new cases of the COVID-19.
In the last 24 hours, Zambia recorded a total of 73 new COVID-19 cases, and these were reported from 10 districts. Fortunately, in the last 24 hours, we didn't record any death, and therefore the cumulative number of deaths linked to COVID-19 remains 312, and we've classified these as 104 deaths due to COVID-19 and 205 COVID-19 associated or related deaths. 3 deaths are being reviewed pending classification. We are also looking at 253 discharges. The cumulative number of cases, as I've mentioned, now stands at 13,539 out of a total of 131,034 tests conducted since COVID-19 was confirmed in Zambia. In terms of recoveries as a country, we now stand at 12,260 with a total of 312 deaths.
Kalan Muchima reporting for Camnet News. Dr. Kirid Malama there just briefing us on what's happening in the area of COVID-19. The message continues. Let's all observe health guidelines are being set by our health experts. We move on with the news. The ruling Patriotic Front PF says it is on course with its developmental trajectory. Speaking at the PF Interactive Forum Sunday morning, Mines Minister Richard Musukwa, who is also PF Chairman for Mobilization, says the PF has continued to score development in various sectors of the economy. Mr. Musukwa explains that those that are saying that the PF government has failed do not really understand anything about governance, hence the need for Zambians to ignore them. According to him, it is not possible for any party to finish all its programs in the few years it has been in power, hence the need for the Zambian people to give them another mandate for them to continue running the affairs of the country on their behalf.
Which has revitalized Zambia's hope in terms of ensuring that we achieve economic, social, and development in all sectors. As espoused by His Excellency the President, development has no end. And you, my colleagues from the media, know too well that development has a gestation period. In fact, even Chairman, even the birth of a child has a period, 9 months. Even a chicken is 21 days. So really, there are a lot of things that the PF has achieved in terms of development trajectory across the Republic of Zambia. And there are other things that we certainly need to improve on and continue building on. We cannot finish development across the country in 9 years or 10 years. And that's why when we hear many sounds that speaks of a lot of things, we wonder how people want to think that they can fix things in a flash of a second. It doesn't happen. There is a process that must be followed. What are you going to fix? What are you going to fix about climate change, which is not synonymous to Zambia only? What are you going to fix about COVID-19? Which is
But the Socialist Party, through its General Secretary Cosmas Musumali, says Zambia has been damaged beyond repair. Speaking at a media briefing in Osaka, Dr. Musumali says what Zambia currently needs is a total overhaul. He says currently the country has no jobs, peace, and the unity it so desires to steer economic development, and wonders how this country will develop. Dr. Musumali has since called for mass mobilization among Zambians to remove the ruling PF from power before they can damage the country much further.
Continues to take power. It continues to betray the hopes of 1964. In 1964, Zambia stood and they had tears in their eyes. They proudly sang a national anthem that said, stand and sing of Zambia proud and free, land of work and joy in unity. Zambians today don't have that pride. They don't have the joy. They don't have the work. And there's no unity. There's no peace in this country. Listening to the conversations with the masses of our people, they feel this is a total failure of the system. They feel this is a vehicle that's damaged beyond repair. You can't fix it. If you come in with solutions of we want to fix it, you are lying to yourself or you are naive. You can't fix this. Zambia requires a transformation.
We go for our first set of commercials, and when we do come back, we hear how a Mansa resident who is 75-year-old wants to kill himself due to economic hardships. Don't go away.
To create a positive difference in people's lives, one must first understand the way people live. At Savannah, we're here for our community, our partners, and our future, as a nation and as a continent.
Back in 1997, we decided we were going to create this family journey into a bigger opportunity, and created a business called Savannah, which meant save nations to develop Africa.
It's always important to give back to the people. The government cannot do everything, but as business entities, we'll be able to reach a lot of people.
From our humble beginnings in the telecoms and mining sectors to our work in energy and development projects, we know how important it is to be true to our roots.
Our services have to be diversified so that we don't depend on one income stream. Back in the village, I was growing up hunting and doing everything that a village boy would like to do. When you're hunting, you don't depend on one trap, for example. You have to have many traps. So those survival skills brought into the business created opportunities that we learned from a young age that you can't survive with just one product. Savannah Group involves Savannah Management, which is a consulting, Savannah Express, which is a corporate branding company, Savannah Electric, which is a manufacturer of energy-saving bulbs, Savannah General Insurance, which is a general insurance company, Savannah Fresh Produce, Cyber Africa, which is a center for just dealing with cyber security.
Now, Savannah is combining local knowledge with international expertise. It's time to be a part of Zambia's rising success and Africa's exciting future.
We are a gateway into Africa, and now we are praying with global companies who are coming to Zambia for opportunities and to look for companies that are homegrown, and we are proud to be one of those.
You are still watching the Camnet World News with me, Kalan Muchima. We continue with the news. The Zambians for Unity, Peace and Development has expressed confidence that issues raised by President Edgar Lungu in the State of the Nation address will help revamp the economy and protect jobs in many sectors which are struggling due to COVID-19. Reacting to the head of a state's speech in Livingston, Zopid President Mary Ngoma says it is good to note that President Lungu has not left out any sector in trying to find a solution to the challenges Zambians are experiencing due to factors prompted by COVID-19. Ms. Ngoma says while her organization sympathizes with the high cost of living, there is hope for Zambians because the economy world over was slowly opening up on major business sectors, a move she says will result in increased foreign exchange.
I would like to commend government for its commitment to reducing poverty, creating prosperity, delivering on social protection, education and health. This is evidenced by government's release of 8 billion kwacha COVID-19 stimulus package and building of 439 health posts and 24 mini hospitals. To sum it all, the President said, that since 2017, government has recruited over 23,000 health workers. This is very commendable. ZUPED thanks the President for not being selective in implementing his developmental agenda. ZUPED also appreciates the concern that the President has for the less privileged, as evidenced by ensuring that 4.2 million people are benefiting from the social protection programs. As ZUPED, we implore government to continue implementing social protection projects in order to contribute to the well-being of all Zambians without leaving anyone behind. Another milestone is that government has already released 1.9 billion kwacha against the 2020 budget of 2.1 billion. ZUPED is elated that the President has not left the youths out. He has invited them to form cooperatives through which they can be empowered to participate in activities such as mining, agriculture, aquaculture, and entrepreneurship, etc., etc.
And now, a 75-year-old man of Mansa district in Chief Chimenses area is planning to kill himself on account of economic hardships. Mr. Lewis Chilambe says he sees no value to continue living on earth when his life is miserable. Mr. Chilambe, who is currently paralyzed, says a failure by government to advance him with the social cash transfer is making his day-to-day living even more complicated. According to him, government has been lately taking his particulars with a view of giving him some funds through the social cash transfer program, but up to now he hasn't received anything. He explains that he last received it in June this year. Mr. Chilambe is also a widower as he lost his wife 7 years ago.
Yakwati asunga kunganda kumwaka uko nakuno so tale kuanisha so na alichula chavipe yakwati awe kwena filanali ndili chawama kukuchitesha ndefu afye kwena chakwati na yipa ya kwantu nafumapo mkuchuloko icho chine chama chechicho na ndi 7th day so kuchechi kuinyoko eva kosapo kutira ifika kuli iyo instance ya ifyo so eva nchinyirira kofye nomba chapitirira kwena ndefu myapo shosho banje bakuchechi kutira nyipa efene kutira okuti nchule fino fino nali ba paralyzed so amenso takuli kumona gobu drive ateti mombelelo antu tapalishondi i social gas transfer i twale tolapoka nomba apo twapokela papitana mu 3 months so i 3 months bashire tulemba kabiri bali tulemba sofi utulemba ukutupela wati tubapele amanamba amafoni namba na mashani aepo wale tuminendalama apo watu sulembele fyo kufika lero takulikire chitika na chile bufugako.
Now, on a sad note, Mwense District Commissioner Edward Mumbuluma has died. Mr. Mumbuluma, 46, died in the early hours of Sunday in a road traffic accident at Titoka area in Nchelenge District along the Mansa-Nchelenge Road. Confirming the matter to the news in Mansa, Luapula Province Permanent Secretary Charles Mushota says the province has received the news of the demise of the District Commissioner with shock. Mr. Mushota has disclosed that the District Commissioner died on the way to Mansa General Hospital, where he was being rushed for medical attention after the accident. He described the late District Commissioner as a hard-working man who fought hard for the well-being of the people of Mwense District, where he also served as Patriotic Front, PF District Chairperson, and the province as a whole. Mr. Mumbuluma was appointed Mwense District Commissioner in July this year by President Edgar Chagwa Lungu. He is survived by a wife and 7 children.
This is to announce the death of our DC for Mwense, Mr. Edward Mumbuluma, who died in the early hours of today, following the road accident which happened at Toka village in Nchelenge. our medical officers from Mwansawongwe, they were rushing him to Mansa General Hospital, but unfortunately he died on the way to Mansa. Mr. Munguruma was appointed DC from Mwense in July 2020. He was a very hard-working DC in the province, and we deeply regret the demise of Mr. Munguruma. I wish to convey my sincere condolences to the bereaved family and indeed the people of Mwense. We are mourning together as this loss is for all of us in Wapra province and indeed for the whole country. The burial arrangements will be advised at a later stage.
May the soul of the deceased rest in peace. As we go for a break, we now look at some youths in Kalomo district of Southern Province who have complained of several social and economic challenges which they say have hindered their progress in many ways. The youths who presented their challenges during the Alliance for Community Action Training in Kalomo district, dubbed Ask a Citizen Voice, say there are also challenges by poor sanitation and erratic water supply. The youths, who are mainly from Wacha, Mwata and Namyanga, have called for proper housing and job creation among youths who they say have resorted to abusing alcohol while girls were subjected to early marriages and unwanted pregnancies owing to high poverty at household level.
And then we also have electricity and water. Sometimes power goes almost the whole day. Sometimes it's there and then it goes. It doesn't have a stable timetable. And then lack of security. The place is not safe because we don't even know where these thieves come from, but we keep losing things in our homes. People are complaining each and every day. And then infrastructure.
Early marriages, especially to girls at the age of 12 to 15. Bapula mamimba bana wakazi bangono kaili. Reason being maybe kapena balina njala kunyumba so basunga lack of guidance vija mwamene bankalira pa nyumba bapula mamimba bakwatilisa bana kaidi balibevo bapasa ku manyumba. So ndeche chilengesa ati bana bangono bakazifula mamimba nokwatiliwa fast sibaenda ku school.
Then the other thing is water problems. I think the system which is there, I don't know about Anawagaberega Uji. Quite alright, we've got my pipes which are running water, but the supply, people have to wake up around 03, 04, 05 in order to get manzi. In that case, so that is one problem which we don't like in Muriwoko.
You're still watching the Camnet World News with me, Carla Mchima. We go for another set of commercials. When we do come back, we look at international and sports news. Please stay with us.
I have used Oracle Pure Glycerin for 2 years now. It has really worked for me. It has cleared all the black spots on my face. It has restored my skin beauty. It also smoothens the skin. Try Oracle Pure Glycerin for perfect skin. If it's not Oracle Glycerin, then it's not pure glycerin.
Stay home, stay safe. Times have changed. With the advent of the coronavirus, Lusaka Water Supply and Sanitation Company would like to advise its esteemed customers to avoid visiting crowded places. You don't have to move to pay your water bill. You can do it in the convenience of your home. You can pay your water bills through Zanaco Zapit, Stanbic Bank, Standard Chartered Bank, and FNB. You can also use Airtel, MTN, and Zamtel Kwacha mobile money transfer services. For any inquiries to report a fault, please contact our customer service on +260 211 251 571, +260 975 618 618, and toll-free line 5957, Zamtel only. You can also simply email customerservice@lwsc.com. This public announcement is brought to you by the Lusaka Water Supply and Sanitation Company. Water is life. Sanitation is health.
Thank you for still staying with us. We continue with the news. It's now time for international and sports. We start with international news. The opposition coalition, which led to mass protests in Mali ahead of our last month coup, has rejected a transition charter. On Saturday, the country's military leadership agreed to establish an 18-month interim government until an election could take place. It followed 3 days of talks with opposition and civil society groups. But the M5 RFP group, which took part in the negotiations, said the resulting document was an attempt by military leaders to grab and confiscate power. It also said the document did not take into account what it said was a majority vote for a civilian interim leader and did not reflect the views and decisions of the Malian people. West Africa's regional bloc, ECOWAS, had also called for the interim president to be a civilian, but the military leadership says a civilian or a soldier can fill up the role. The interim charter announced by the military leaders also states that an interim legislative body is to be established comprising M5 RFP members. Mali is struggling with intense Islamist and ethnic violence, as well as a faltering economy. We now have some sports news. In sports, Lionel Messi made his first appearance for Barcelona Saturday since his failed attempt to leave the club, playing in their friendly with Gimnastic de Tarragona. The 33-year-old Argentine submitted a transfer request in August, but decided to stay last week because no club would be able to afford his release clause. Messi started in the 3-1 win over third-tier Nastic after the club confirmed he would remain as captain. He was replaced along with the other starters at half-time. Ousmane Dembele opened the scoring with Antonio Griezmann and Felipe Coutinho netting penalties. Messi, Barcelona's all-time leading goal scorer, believed he had a clause in his contract which would allow him to leave for free and did not begin pre-season training. Barcelona and La Liga insisted that clause was no longer valid, with any club wishing to buy him required to pay a staggering lease clause of €700 million or £624 million, and Messi returned to training after saying he would not take the club to court. That sporting item brings us to the end of the Camnet World News, but before we go, a quick look at the headlines once more. 75-year-old man of Mansa contemplates a suicide due to economic hardships. Zopid commends President Edgar Lungu Ziyu in ending poverty. Nchelenge residents annoyed with the poor state of roads. In international news, Mali opposition rejects a transitional deal as power grab continues. And of course in sports, Lionel Messi plays for Barcelona in pre-season friendly. And of course, the Camnet World verse of the day is coming from the book of James 5, verse 14 to 15, and it reads, "Is anyone among you sick? Let them call the elders of the church to pray over them and anoint them with oil in the name of the Lord. And the prayer offered in faith will make the sick person well. The Lord will raise them up. If they have sinned, they will be forgiven." That's the end of the main news on Camnet TV. Thank you so much for joining us. Remember to mask up and observe all the COVID-19 health guidelines. My name is Kalan Mshimon. On behalf of the entire student technical crew, it's good night and God bless you.